Good morning, children. It is nice to see you all back once again. Today, in our virtual class, we are going to learn the fourth poem given to you in the fourth unit, that is, The Ant and the Cricket. This particular poem is adapted from Aesop's Fables. Now, let us learn something about Aesop's Fables. So, let us go to the next page, so where we can find a note has been given about Aesop's Fables. So, what is this Aesop's Fables? Now, Aesop was a Greek storyteller. So, fable. Now, fable itself means a story which gives a moral at the end. Usually, in these kind of fables, you can always see animal characters are depicted to teach us a lesson, to teach a moral. So, Aesop's Fables is a collection of fables credited to Aesop. He was a Greek man and he was a slave and a story writer, believed to have lived in ancient Greece between 620 and 564 BCE. These fables became popular when they emerged in print, when they started to write them, since it was written in BC. Several stories are attributed to Aesop even today. The process of inclusion is continuous and new stories are being added. Collections of Aesop's fables were among the earliest books to be printed in many languages. So, many of the languages have print about this work by Aesop. So, from one such work from Aesop that has been made as a poet for you and given in your textbook. So, you would have understood what is a fable now and the great character of Aesop as well. Now let us move on to the poem. So the title of the poem here you can see it is Ant and the Cricket. Now, so what is this particular poem is about? Here, a fable is a traditional story that teaches us a moral lesson. Usually, the characters in these fables are animals. As I told already, the characters in these fables are animals. This poem, The Ant and the Cricket, teaches us the importance of hard work and planning. So, this particular poem is going to give us a moral about hard work and planning. That is what is the poem about The Ant and the Cricket. Now, you all would have known the quality of an ant. No? Ant is very hardworking. There are many stories also you would have heard about the smartness of an ant. Same time, cricket. So cricket is something which is very lazy and it enjoys during the summer and enjoys singing, roaming here and dancing throughout. And then at winter, it finds itself very difficult because it doesn't store any food for it. So that is this poem about. It tells about the smartness of ant, which collects all its food and preserves it safe before winter arrives. Whereas this cricket is very happily and is very joyful during the summer and spring, and doesn't have is not smart enough like the ant to store food for it during winter. So now let us go by each stanzas. And in this particular poem, you can see, every poem, the rhyming scheme, each stanza is A, B, B. So now let me read the poem for you first and then let me explain it to you. A silly young cricket, accustomed to sing through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring, began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was come. Not a crumb to be found on the snow covered ground, not a flower could he see, not a leaf on a tree. Oh, what will become, says cricket, of me, at last by starvation and famine made bold, all dripping with wet and all trembling with cold. Away he set off to a miserly ant, to see if to keep him alive he would grant him shelter from rain and a mouthful of grain he wished only to borrow, he would repay it tomorrow. Now go to the next page for the continuation of the poem. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow, says the ant to the cricket. I am your servant and friend, but we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. But tell me, dear cricket, did you lay anything by when the weather was warm? Quoth the cricket, not I. My heart was so light that I sang day and night. For all nature looked gay, for all nature looked gay. You sang, sir, you say. Go then, says the ant, and dance the winter away. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket, and out of the door turned the poor little cricket. Folks call this a fable. I will warrant it true. Some crickets have four legs, and some have two. So this is what I did reading for you, and now let me explain the poem to you. The first stanza, I already told what is the central idea behind given in this poem. What is the moral which the author is trying to say? A silly, the first stanza. Yeah, here it is. A silly young cricket, accustomed to sing through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring. A silly young cricket. Cricket, can you see in that picture? It is somewhat like a grasshopper, and always it makes loud noise whenever it moves on. And this is what is the cricket here, which you can see in the picture. So a silly young cricket, accustomed to sing, because accustomed here means we used to, that is the habit, used to sing through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring. So it was the best season. There are four climates in English conditions or in European conditions, like spring, summer, winter and autumn. So the best season which everyone loved to enjoy is summer and spring. So what this little cricket was doing during the summer, gay months of gay. Gay here means joyful. So it was what was this cricket doing during the summer and spring was it was spending its time in that warmth by being very joyful, gay, very joyful, and that is the habit of the cricket as well. And once that season was over, once summer and spring has come to an end, it began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was come, and the season was about to end. And this cricket searched for the amount of food left in its cupboard, and it started, for its shock, it found out that the food was over, and the spring and the summer season was over, and winter was approaching, and it started to have its own fear. What will I do for winter? Because the food is empty, the cupboard is empty. So that is the first stanza. The second stanza, not a crumb to be found in the cupboard, not a crumb here, not even a piece of bread to be found there on the snow covered ground. So in the outside, now it comes outside and it's almost winter, not a crumb of food is found there, not on the snow covered ground, because winter and everywhere snow has been fallen and the ground is full of snow. Not a flower could he see, he couldn't see even a single flower, not a leaf on a tree. So that is what is winter. And he wondered, he couldn't find anything on the snow covered land, not even a flower, not even a leaf on the tree. And the third stanza, then he started to realize his difficulty. Oh, what will become, says the cricket. Oh, what will become, says the cricket, of me, because there is no food for me and I couldn't find any food anywhere. At last, by starvation and famine made bold, at last I am going to suffer in starvation without any food. And famine means scarcity of food. How am I going to become bold in such a circumstance? All dripping with wet, because of winter, all snow will start to fall, and I'll be dripping wet. All the water will fall on me, dripping wet, and all trembling with cold, and I'll be trembling in cold without food, and I'll be dripping. All the water would have, the snow fall would have fallen on me. Away he set off to a miserly ant. So miser means a person who has enough money or food, but very hesitant to spend that money, or he won't give it to others. So without knowing what to do, the cricket went to get help from the ant. It went to the miserly ant. Miserly here means having enough money but hesitant to give it to others, to see if to keep him alive he would grant. So he went to the ant, and he wanted to find whether the ant would help him to or rescue him from the winter season. So he went there, and he wanted whether he will grant him, whether he will give him shelter from rain and a mouthful of grain, whether he'll give shelter from rain, that is winter snow, and a mouthful of grain as food. He wished only to borrow, and he would repay it tomorrow. He just wanted to go to the ant, and he wished that only thing what he wants is he just wants to borrow from the ant, and he will repay it when the next season comes. That is the only thing he wanted to go and ask from the ant. Saying that, he went to the ant now. Now, what did the ant say? We'll go to the next page and see. So, if in case the ant didn't help him, he knew if not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. In case if the ant refused to help him, he has to die out of starvation and sorrow. Says the ant to the cricket, and says the ant to the cricket. When the cricket asked to help him, the ant, this is what the ant replied. Said, I am your servant and friend. Yeah, I am almost like your servant, and I am also your friend in another way. But the ant said, we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. That is one character of us. We ants never, we don't borrow from others, and we never lend others also. We don't get anything from others, and neither we don't give anything to others. That's what the ant said. Then the ant asked, but tell me, dear cricket, I want to ask you something. Did you lay anything by when the weather was warm? Yes, when the weather was warm, at the time of summer, when the weather was warm, did you lay anything? Did you keep anything safe for you? Did you preserve anything in your cupboard when the climate was good? Quoth the cricket. And the cricket, when it was asked, the cricket replied, not I. No, I have not preserved or stored anything for me. Then the cricket continued to say, when the climate was very good, my heart was so light because I was very happy that I sang day and night. I kept on singing every day and night. For all nature looked gay, because all nature during summer when it was warm, it looked gay. It looked very joyful for me. So I kept on enjoying in that climate. I started singing and dancing every day and night. For all day looked gay. You sang, sir, you say. And throughout, no, I kept on singing and I enjoyed it, and I forgot to preserve anything for me. I forgot that I have to preserve something because next season winter is approaching, which I never realized it. That's what the cricket said. Then ant said, go then, says the ant, and dance the winter away. Oh ho, you forgot to do all those things. Then you keep dancing for the winter also. You can't have food or anything. You continue dancing even during this winter season. Thus ending, thus telling this, he hastily lifted the wicket. Saying that, he lifted the wicket. Wicket here means a small gate, the house of the ant. He lifted the wicket, and he told cricket to know you can keep moving out and you can dance in the winter also now. He said, the ant said like that. And out of the door turned the poor little cricket, and from out of the door came the poor little cricket outside. Folks call this a fable. Folks, dear friends, the poet is saying, dear friends, you just say this is a fable. Fable, no, it is only a story, imaginary story where animal characters are depicted to teach us a moral. So, dear friends, you might take this only as a fable, but I will warrant it true. But the poet here says, but I will say this is true. Here in the story, some cricket have four legs and some have two. So here's telling some cricket, usually cricket has four legs. Here the poet says some of them have four legs and some of them have two legs. Two legs here indirectly means human beings. So some of them, four legs here means cricket, and two legs here means human beings. So the poet says some human beings are also like that. When they are very prosperous, when they are blessed, they don't worry about the tough times. They keep enjoying, whether it is money, whether it is food, whether it is their self-discipline. When things are going so good, they keep singing and dancing too much. Later on, when they get into their tough situation, they don't know how to handle it. So we have to learn a lesson from this poet. That is, we have to save something for the future. In this last particular line, you can see there is a figures of speech. There is a comparison. That is the four-legged cricket is compared as human being. So that particular line, the figures of speech here is metaphor. So please make a note here. And so this is what is the poem. I hope all of you would have enjoyed the moral which Aesop has given through this particular poem, the ant and the cricket. And another, you have also noted the figures of speech which is at the end, and there are many personifications in many lines. One such is in the last stanza, go then, says the ant, and dance the winter away. In that particular line also you can find there is a figures of speech, that is personification. So like that, you can mark the figures of speech as well. So well children, I hope all of you would have enjoyed this particular poem. Now I want you all to take your English notebook and do the summary for this particular poet and send it back to me. Thank you. Have a nice day.